Previously on Dungeons and Drimbus.
A large, cubic, obsidian vessel descends into the depths of the Varon Sea without a trace. A tall, slender, dark elf addresses the awaking prisoners.
Rest up. You're going to need it.
I stare at the guard and use my ability.
And then he starts to scream. He goes, "Ah! Ah!"
You can still end all of this. You can make the right decision.
I want to go to the guard and make sure they're okay.
What? And he clasps one of your hands with both of his and just looks into your eyes as a way of saying thank you.
They locked me in a room with a bunch of wizards using their head powers and stuff. I don't understand it.
I fly up to the vent.
What the hell?
You only see the dark elf from earlier.
Great. I'm kicking open the grate and going down there. Dravik, I have no quarrel with you. In fact, I empathize very much with much of your past. I just wish you had treated me with a bit more decency when dragging me here to your sunken ship.
It's not sunken yet. No. But it will be. And he presses a button, and you hear like a huge boom, and suddenly the ship kind of shifts to the left, and you kind of fall up against one of the walls, and you get the feeling that something is suddenly unstable inside of wherever you are. That said, let's head back over to General Phoenix and Rhea. General Phoenix and Rhea, you are currently about to head straight into the center vessel, so tell me what you're doing.
Just crawl straight ahead, I guess. Well, first of
Rhea,
all, I feel like we got knocked to the left, so...
You have not done this yet. This has not happened to you yet.
Oh, it hasn't happened yet. Never mind.
No. Rhea, are you following along with this?
Yeah.
So, here's what happens. You guys start crawling to the central chamber. So you pass the little crossroads where you were, and you start heading into it. And that rumbling that you heard gets louder and louder, and suddenly it gets expedited, that rumbling. And you see this bright light coming from the center. And all of a sudden, that blast comes straight at you. And it passes through the chamber, and you see it turn to the right. Basically, like the grate you were in, if you had turned to the left. It goes all into that center. And the blast creates this loud, almost explosion. You hear like a cracking sound, almost. And with that, you are both caught in the blast. So, roll a fight check for me.
5.
4.
General, you are... So when it goes into that center chamber and you hear that cracking, that's suddenly when the ship shifts a little bit. And Rhea, you are knocked into one of the open passageways when it goes through. But that blast of energy does significant damage to you. And you take 2 points of damage and you lose 1 luck.
Woof.
Both of us, or just Ray?
Just Rhea right now.
Okay.
General, when it tilts to the left, because you were crawling straight into where these blasts were coming from, and you were already past the central pathway, you are stuck in the duct. And you are taking damage from this blast of energy. And it is burning. You feel a burning sensation, unlike fire. It is some sort of special intensity that you've never felt, and you feel parts of your skin start to peel away. And you take 1 point of damage, but you are now trapped in this blast. What do you do?
Can I fight my way out of this situation and get myself unstuck?
You can take an action, but because you're in the middle of the blast, anything you do is basically going to continue to cause harm while you do it. So you are currently halfway between the duct where Rhea was knocked in, or if you keep going the same distance but straight, you fall into the center chamber where the energy's coming from.
Which will hurt me, so I gotta go backwards. I'm gonna go back to where Rhea is.
Okay, roll a fight for me.
Okay. 8.
Okay, perfect. You take another point of damage, but you, it's almost like you just need to let go and ride this energy wave, and it pushes you out, and then you manage to duck and roll to the side, and you're now in the duct with Rhea. You're scarred, your hair is singed, and your bright red eyes stand out even more right now. But you're resting in the duct, and you're safe for now. What do you want to do?
Can I heal myself?
Yes.
Thank you. 3.
Ray, you had a healing spell this whole time. And you made me use a luck.
General, yes, I did. I didn't feel... honestly, I didn't feel like healing you at that time. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh my god. You're not my friend anymore. I'm gonna go look for
General, you have to
local.
understand where I'm coming from.
No, I've heard enough.
General,
you've
please.
hurt my feelings.
General, please. I've thought about it. I've thought about it now. It wasn't the right thing to do. I'm sorry. I'm not a fighter first, so seeing that guard die just shook me a bit.
Both of you roll a smart for me.
6.
11.
All right, Rhea, as you are arguing, you hear, the screeching of the energy blast, right? As it's going through these ducts. And your ears tune in to something unusual. You almost hear... It almost sounds like that, the rushing of the blast and the energy, it almost sounds like a screech. And it strikes you as odd. That's all.
That's all.
Yep. And I guess let's go back to Tempest. Tempest, what are you doing?
So everything's been inceptioned and turned 90 degrees.
No, it's not full 90 degrees. It's just like if you're on a boat, it's now tilting.
Okay.
One way. Like if it were like a rocket, it's like one of the blasters is overpowering the others.
I don't know, talk to Dravik some more.
Go for it.
I don't know what even to say.
I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.
Tell me, Tempest, what exactly is your goal here? What, you escaped? Do you even know where we are? Leagues under the sea. You think that what? You're just going to swim to the surface? As if the pressure wouldn't crush you first, or your lungs wouldn't crumple first? You are weak. You don't have the energies of power to escape us. What? You think you're going to take the ship down to the base and blast your way out with General Fuckface? No. It's over, Tempest. Why do you continue to fight? With all your insight, you still cannot see what is plainly in front of you.
Well, I could ask you the same question. What are you doing here? And frankly, I don't know if I even care.
We are winning!
Winning what?
We are taking control. We're going to win the war. We are going to control. Finally, we are going to make the race stronger. The world. All of you are too weak-minded to see that. We pay the price daily. Tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. Why not just purge it all at once so that we can cease to pay the price? So that we can be stronger as a people. But no, your kind, you just continue to cling to the weak long after they are gone. Even you. You are unable to let go of the events that made you. Imagine what you could be with all your power, Tempest. If you just let go of the weakness.
Show me.
Fine. Let me welcome you back in. And you sense that he has dropped his guard, and is almost inviting you back into his mind.
That's
Give
my
me a roll.
mind move. Okay. Nat 12. I don't know what's going on today, but I like it.
So you re-enter Dravik's mind, and you see, again, a slideshow of the same things. And you feel Dravik's pain, you feel it in more detail, you live it again. And you see his path, but something is missing. There's something that you can't see for some reason. And when you're finally done, he feels weakened, having had to relive his life experience yet again and the tragedy. And he looks up at you with his pale blue eyes. And he says, "You still don't see it, do you? You are weak. You cannot. You could never soar to the heights that we have planned. That is why we need to use your power, because we know how to apply it. We know how to push on. You are unable to outlive your past experiences, even when it's right in front of you. You are no longer a man, you are a machine. Tempus locus. That is not a name for a man. That is a machine, and much like a machine, you felt a critical system failure. You stumbled upon something that you could not process. And so rather than live and deal with the pain like a man, you chose to corrupt your own data. Perhaps I should have done you the mercy of actually killing you, baby brother."
Oh.
We're family.
And with that, he puts his hands against your head, and he says, "This was a lot harder to figure out how to do on my own, but once I knew that you could do it, it felt like a miss, but I suppose we shall find out." And he puts his hands on your head, and he holds your head to his. And suddenly you feel the process done in reverse. And you go back to your youth. To when you were a young boy, a member of the Morcillian family. Just starting to grow, starting to learn. You were curious, and you were happy, and you were normal. The world was difficult, but that wasn't something that affected you at that age, at that point in time. Your brother, Dravik, who was something of a father figure to you, begins to exhibit strange behavior, and there's tension in the family, and you're not sure what is happening. One night, as your mother's packing up things and preparing to move you to one of the local big cities inside a fort, you hear a scream from one of the rooms. And your mother rushes in, and you hear more screams and shouting. And this goes on for a few minutes as you are hiding underneath a bed. And you don't know what to do. You're hiding, and eventually everything goes quiet. But then, after a few minutes of silence, you hear a door creak open, and you see boots that look like your brother's, like Travik's. And he peers under the bed, and he picks you up and hugs you tight, a little bit too tight. And you're not sure what is happening, but you have a sinister feeling wash over you. But ultimately, he sets you down and tells you to run. And this is a memory that, despite the vivid detail, the slaughtering of your family, all of it, for years, you don't even know how long you have been alive at this point with the way that you experience time. But for years, the memory of your brother Dravik did not exist. The face of your family's killer was unknown to you. And now, as you come out of this experience, you see him standing before you again. And he looks at you and he says,
So, what's it going to be? Who will accomplish the destiny? Tempus Locus, the machine? Or will you finally be a man and stand up? Face your past.
A man chooses.
Oh my.
A slave obeys.
Very well. Choose.
Well, you are my brother. And we are family.
You disappoint me. I gave you a chance to make something great. And you are still held back by your weakness.
And he draws a dagger and attempts to attack you. Okay, so he draws the dagger, and as he goes to stab you, he is almost paralyzed in a moment, and he drops it. And all of a sudden, you share another sight. This one was unprompted, almost some sort of meeting of the minds, if you will. And you see events that have not occurred. Usually you can see alternate paths for people's lifetimes up until the present moment, but now you see something that seems to be of a possible future, of a path that one of you may take. And what you see is Dravik meeting his end at the hands of his brother. And as you flash out of that, he goes,
Very well. Your power grows. But who will accomplish the destiny? The man or the machine?
and he pulls another lever on the console, and all of a sudden you feel it stabilize for a second, and then all of a sudden the machine shifts to the other side again, and you hear you guys in the ducts. You guys kind of roll the other way, but since you're in the passage, you're safe there. You see the energy blast head in the opposite direction this time, and Rhea, again, you hear that cracking noise off from one of the corners, and you also hear the shriek. The shriek within the rush of energy is almost getting more intense. And let's take it back to you guys in the duct. What do you do?
We gotta find Locust and get out of here.
I want to go towards the shriek.
The shriek is coming from the center, like the energy blast.
Yup.
I got hurt there, Rhea.
You did. Look, General, I'm sorry. I'm not a fighter. I was just upset with myself and I took that out on you, and I know you think I might be weak because I only use my words, but I think we should go towards the center and I will heal you throughout the whole thing if I make it, but I think we should go towards the shriek.
But what about Locust? We can't just leave him behind. He's our friend.
We've seen Locust. I think he can take care of himself.
Rhea, I will trust you. But if I get killed in there, that's on you.
General, hopefully I won't live long enough to see that happen.
All right, suicide mission. Let's do it.
Off we go.
Okay.
There you go.
John's like, what do I do? When my team is actively killing themselves.
You're going to the center?
Yeah, I think so.
Rhea will go first.
No. It's okay.
Yeah.
Go.
It's okay, don't worry.
It's okay.
Just keep looking at the bunnies, don't worry.
Don't look into the light.
Don't turn around. It's fine.
Okay. So who's going first? Rhea's going first?
I'm trying to think here. I feel like the general should go first, and that way I can heal him whenever necessary, like from behind, I guess, so I don't take as much of the blow, so I can survive just maybe a little longer, like long enough to keep him alive.
I will remind you there's currently no blast in front of you. Like where the blast was, it's going in the other direction now.
Oh, let's go, dude. Come on.
The thing is, you will have to enter the blast to enter the central chamber.
That's fine. Let's do it.
We're gonna bum rush it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sprint with all my might to the center.
Give me a roll.
Okay. Would it be fight?
Go for it, yeah.
Natural 12 plus 2 is 14.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, you sprint crawl through the ducts and and you dive kind of like head first. You grab onto like the ledge that leads down into the big pipe in the center, and you dip your head into the beam, and then you kind of do like a flip into it so you land on your feet. And you are now in the blast, and you are feeling this radiating energy just really full force on you. Take 1 luck, and also take 1 damage. When you enter this chamber, suddenly that sort of aquamarine crystalline structure that was opaque on the outside is clear on the inside. And you can see out. You see the center chamber, the area that you were in earlier. You see the obsidian. You see the orc guard stumbling to the side and falling as the ship is off balance. You see the doctor dangling out of the vent as she tries to come down, and inside this structure with you, emanating from the power, is a very small, about 2 feet-ish tall, blue water fairy. And this water fairy is in agonizing pain. So much so, the phrase blinding pain is very literal here. It seems to be unaware of your existence as it spouts these energy beams and directs them to wherever it's needed in the ship, and it has some sort of those energy vessels that you don't quite understand are plugged into it and seem to enter into that console that was in front of the center chamber, and the creature screams as it lets out these beams of energy from within. Rhea, what do you do?
Is the fairy like in, I don't know, a thing, a cage or something, or is...
Yeah, it's in the crystal structure
Got
in the
it.
center of the room that you are now in.
Got it. I want to break it.
You can try. Give it a roll.
I was gonna suggest the general.
Making me do all your dirty work.
General,
Ray.
we
I
are
see
on
how
good
it is.
terms now. Come on.
We are on middling terms.
Before you do that, everyone roll a fight check for me.
10.
10,
You both take 1 point of damage.
and that's fine. General, please, the sooner you do this, the better. Just
All right, I'll take a whack at the crystal.
Give me a roll and describe to me how you're approaching this.
I have my little dagger with me, and I'm just gonna, with all my might, stab it into the crystal thing. 12, not natural.
So you take a stab, and there is next to no reaction from the crystal. You get the feeling that this is some sort of element that you're unfamiliar with, and incredibly, incredibly strong. But you do notice a slight chip where the dagger was. So it's not indestructible. And Rhea, I'll give you 1 more action, and then we'll head back to Tempest.
there's not much I can do, I feel like.
You could heal me, Rhea.
I'll heal the general.
Okay.
You lost 1 hit
what I
point,
thought.
and you're crying
lost
home to
4.
mama. Are you kidding?
I lost 4 hit points.
Fine.
Back in the chamber, Tempest Locus. You have just seen this vision of your brother dying in your hands, and he has just activated this, and the ship has suddenly gone slightly sideways again, and you get the feeling something bad is going on. What do you do?
I would like to try to grab the dagger he dropped on the floor and then speak to him again.
Okay, go for it. Roll what do you want to roll to try and grab the dagger?
Either fight or sneak. Either way, it's -2.
Okay, give me a
I don't
sneak.
think I can do a smart check on this, so I'll throw in some luck in there, like 1
Okay.
luck. Thank God I threw the luck in. I got a 4 and then I got a nat 12. So
Nat 12. Okay, take 1 luck. You swiftly grab the dagger. It is no sweat for you. And he's still at the console. Like he is not worried about you at all. And you just see, he keeps working at whatever he's doing that's presumably causing the ship to react the way it is. What do you say?
Brother, I think you misinterpret my message. I have no quarrel with you. I choose family. I choose you.
Roll a speak for me.
I'll do 1 luck for that. 8 and a 2. So I'm going to go with 8, and that's -2, so 6.
He hears you, and you see him kind of consider it for a second. He goes, "You don't understand. There is no family. Family's weak. Family's... It's something meant to hold us down. Ties over what? Things we don't get to choose. I'm trying to show you the power of a greater society, the power of science. You choose me, don't choose me for family. Choose me for my strength." And he says, "But clearly, you've lost control. You've shown me the outcome that this will lead to. And I am okay with that because I do not fear deaths. But I will not let you destroy my work, for that is far bigger than anything you could imagine." And he cranks it, and like the direction that you were leaning in, it tilts a little harder. And you, this time, you hear that cracking that I was describing to Rhea earlier. And you hear it coming from like the right corner of the room, which is kind of, that's the part that's like lifted up a little bit. And you hear some sort of cracking from within that obsidian. Anyways, what do you do?
I guess I'll take a look and inspect that.
It's like when you hear like pipes creaking, like it's something like within the structure of the ship, but not necessarily. It's not like the walls are cracking.
There's a console, and there's anything else in the room that I...
Like a sleeping area. There's the console that he's working on.
Yes.
And then remember, there's also the console in the center room by the crystalline structure.
Yeah, I guess I'll check that one out. The one that he's not at.
Okay, so you're just gonna waltz out of the room? I like it, but
it's out of the...
making sure.
It's in a different room?
Yeah, it's in the center room.
Oh,
He's
the central room.
Yeah.
You know what? I guess, yeah. I'll just waltz out the room.
Okay, roll a smart check for me.
Easy. 13.
You look at this large, complex mechanical door, and based on what you've seen, and even like bits of the fragments of memory that still exist from what you've seen him do, you realize that one of the consoles on the side, the numbers just kind of come to you, and you enter a combination, and the door slides open, and you see the big crystalline structure from the outside. That opaque aquamarine crystal is now glowing very, very bright. And you're inspecting the console?
Yes.
Okay, roll a smart check for me for that, for actually looking at the console. In the room, you see the orc is like flying about and all of this, but almost they're like not even necessarily concerned with you at the moment. They're very scared. It seems they know something you don't, but they're frightened.
12, not natural though.
So you go up to the center console, and while you don't necessarily understand how to operate it, you do understand that the writings that are on here seem to indicate some sort of vitals. And you see something that looks like some sort of graphene, and you see a start at what seems like a 100%, a steady decline, a pause, and then another steady decline. Now, but it suddenly dips deeply, and is now at about 25%. Yeah. So you get the sense that something is depleting, and there are some vitals that are, you might not understand the science of the vitals, but you see something that's like elevated, and there are alerts going on.
Okay, I'll walk back to the room with my brother and...
Okay, yeah, you walk back to the room, and as that's happening, the orc kind of like flies past as he's like trying to steady himself, and he goes, "Boss! What are you doing? We can get it under control! You don't have to do this!" And you enter the room with your brother at the console. Let's take it back inside the structure. Both of you roll a fight check for me.
10.
Ooh, 8.
While you're in here and all of this is happening, you see Tempest Locust walk up to the console and then walk away and all of that. But right before he walks up to the console, suddenly the water fairy screeches even louder, and the blast gets more intense. And General Phoenix, you take 2 points of damage, and so do you, Rhea.
What do I do, Rhea? This is your cockamamie plan.
General, why don't, I mean, we're both here. You can, help me out, right?
It's a very casual conversation for being basically burned alive.
Hey, I'm a peaceful look. Oh.
What do I do, Rhea?
I would keep trying to break the fairy free.
All right, we're going to take another whack at this crystal.
Go for it.
And I'm going to use one luck. All right, 13 and 11. So 13.
You line up your dagger with where it was before, and you kind of insert it into the little chip to get it perfectly there. And you ball up your big dwarven fist, and with your bracer you bring it down almost like a hammer. And you deepen the chip, and all of a sudden a crack has started to sprout. And through this crystal, you now see the doctor in the lab coat, the elven woman. She runs up to that kind of console, which is basically right in front of the chip, and she starts reading the vitals right after Tempest does that. And you see her start to panic, and she goes, "He's going to kill us. No, wait." And she notices the crack, and she goes, "What is going on in there? Oh, Lord, no!" And she sprints off toward the captain's quarters, I suppose. And she goes, "Dravik, you need to stop this at once. We can get this under And she looks at you, and she goes, "Oh, hello. Listen, I'm going to be square with both of you. I don't know what's going on here. I am highly uncomfortable. However, if you do not stop this at once, we are all going to perish. Do you understand the pressure that's here? We will not survive this. You are burning her up too quickly. Dravik, stop this at once." Tempest, what do you do?
I asked the lady, what do we need to do?
Dravik needs to stop burning up our fuel source. We're going to run out. We precisely calculate exactly how much energy we need to make a return trip. At this point, we may already be screwed, but perhaps we can survive off of the little air we have left and float down into the bottom, hope for a rescue mission. But we will not be able to navigate if it continues to burn at this rate. And Dravik stands there and he says, "Baby brother, there is nothing that you can do. We've seen the future. You know the path you are going to take. So how about you man up, use that little dagger and get on with it. I'll finish my work here, and we'll see where we end up."
Very well. I do as he says.
You gonna kill him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to have some luck on that roll. Yeah, I'll use one luck. It's a 5.
Here's what happens. You take the dagger, and you go to stab Dravik. And you do. It slides into, like, right underneath his ribs. And he's almost unfazed. You see the blood start to gush, and he goes, "Ah!" And he activates another lever, and suddenly the ship shifts in another direction. And he says, "Ah, baby brother, you know, you all like to stand on your moral high ground, but you know better than the rest of us. But killing your own brother, oh yeah, that will make you good. And what's your plan after that, Going to seize command of the ship? I don't think you can escape anymore. Not like this." And he grabs your head while he's saying this, and he slams your head into the console, and you take a point of HP damage. And as you fall, he's now looking weaker after the psychic damage and now the physical damage, and he's resting up on the console, holding steady with the levers. And you see the elven doctor, Dr. Frederica, start to just panic and doesn't know what to do. Let's move it back to the people in the chamber.
General, give me the dagger.
Yes.
Leave me.
What?
Go find Tempest. Go help him. Go after that doctor woman. Go after the doctor woman. Go after the doctor woman.
I don't understand. You dragged me in here, now you're telling me to leave?
Let me finish it. Let me finish this. Let me finish what I started. You go, save yourself, save Tempest, and save everyone else.
Are you strong enough to get
General,
through there?
be a general!
All right. Here you go, Rhea. Here's my dagger. I'm gonna see you on the other side. I'm gonna see you out there. You're gonna make it out of here.
I make no promises. Now go.
All right.
May I ask what your plan to get out of this hole that you fell into is?
Is there only one exit?
Yeah. This is a
How high up is the vent?
Here's both of you roll a smart for me.
Okay. Ooh.
4.
10.
Okay, so Rhea, the thing about this chamber is you realize that whatever's in here is not meant to ever get out. This is like a gas tank. There, you put something in it, and that channels stuff out, but it's not, it's not a room, it's not an office. This is a burning chamber, and you guys dropped into the gas tank. The exit is about 7 feet in the air. You would need to fly up or come up with some sort of creative solution to get out of here. But keep in mind that since you are now in the brightly burning chamber, I honestly don't even know if Rhea has the strength left to fly you out and come back and finish the job.
Not with that attitude, they won't.
Let me just take another swing at it. We got a crack, so we're almost there.
If that's what you want.
May I ask what all of your HP is?
8.
I'm at a nice solid 1, baby.
I'm 3.
I'm gonna let you guys simmer on that one for a second, but both of you roll a fight check for me to see how much damage you take this round.
Oh god, Ray is dead. 7.
Oh, okay. Well, 11.
Please heal after this.
General,
Yes.
you take 2 points of damage.
Oh dear god.
Rhea,
Yeah.
you take 1 point of damage.
No.
That's fair. That's
Now,
fair.
the way we handle this is Rhea is on death's door. I suppose, even though you're not a healer, General Phoenix, you could expend 1 luck.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Go for it.
I'll save you, Rhea.
Oh, how the turn
Use
tables.
your combat smarts to try and...
1.
Hey!
Rhea, you kind of you passed out under the heat from this. This has now started to burn away the side of your face, just from being in this chamber for so long. You're starting to get kind of that two-faced look as your skin slowly starts to peel away.
Nice.
Your feathers are singeing, some of them are falling off.
Jesus Christ.
And you feel like you are not far from passing out again. So this turn, whatever action you take, you feel like it's gonna take all of your energy. Regardless of what that is, you could spend luck to heal, or you could do something else. It's up to you.
You heal yourself, Rhea.
I guess I'll heal myself.
Roll a d4 and regain health. General Phoenix, you are not terribly different either. You've taken the moniker Phoenix and some back in the day, before your sad predicament, some people used to refer to you as the dwarf on fire. But now, you are literally the dwarf on fire. Your mane is all but gone. You're now essentially bald. You've still got a beard, but it's burning up, it's shrinking, it's like sand slipping through an hourglass. Your ashen clothing, which you wear by choice, is now starting to expose things. Like your shirt has now turned into like a tank top and a glove because it's burned away the section around your bicep. And you're starting to feel weak in the knees. You've been in worse shape before. You've been on death's door countless times, but it's looking a little grim. And with that, we'll move back to Tempest Locust. Tempest, inside the chamber, Dr. Frederica goes up to Dravik and she says, "Dravik, you're going to kill us all. I cannot stand by while you do this." And Dravik just slams down on that lever, and you see the brightness from inside the chamber start to light up again. Before I do anything else, what are you going to do?
Grab the knife that's in his gut and continue to disembowel my brother.
Roll for it.
With luck. That's a 5.
You actually manage to to take the dagger from where you are on the ground after he slammed your head against the console. You basically stand up, and you're dizzy, but you grab the dagger that's under his rib before you collapse again, and so you put all your weight on the handle of the dagger and drag it down. As you collapse, you actually stab yourself, and you take a point of damage. But before you can even see your own blood start to spill out on you, you see your brother's intestines start to slip out as he falls to his knees, and you have his guts resting on top of you in this weird, picturesque moment of brother against brother as he clings to life and tries to pull the final lever to do whatever he's doing. You feel like he's getting close, and there's a reason he's staying so gung-ho to all of this. And now that mental link connects again, and you see another event that you can't quite fathom, but it seems like something that could happen, like a path that you could take. And this time you see again your brother dying in your hands, but you see the ship's essentially engines. You gain a new understanding of what's been going on, and you come to learn that those corners were thrusters, and those crystals are what's powering it. And while you don't necessarily know what is powering the ship, you see your brother managing to finish blowing the final thruster, and essentially letting the ship to the bottom of the ocean as everyone inside suffocates.
Letting the sink ship.
Letting the ship sink. And you see this mass grave lying at the bottom of the sea. Inside is this vacuum chamber. No air. There is a cracked center chamber with 3 corpses inside. There are 2 disemboweled bodies lying at a console, and these other bodies strewn throughout, one with an arrow in its head, and the rest with claw marks around their neck, almost like they were gasping for air. And that's the vision you see. And as he pulls on this thruster, Dravik falls down up against the console, his intestines spilled out over you, and he goes,
Now you've done it, baby brother. Now you've fulfilled your destiny. You've made it certain. For all that garbage you spout about the past not taken, you fulfilled your destiny just like the rest of us.
And his breathing slows, and your brother dies.
A man chooses, a slave obeys.
And Dr. Frederica says, "You fools. Do you understand what you've done to us? There is no escape from this, not for us. We have no energy left. We're down to 5%. So now what? We suffocate here at sea? Was that your goal?"
I turned the lever back the opposite way where my brother was doing.
Sure. Roll an intelligence check for me. We're gonna have you investigate the console to see if you can figure this stuff out.
Great. 16.
You start looking through this console, and the link that you had with your brother, it suddenly makes sense. It's almost like you can autopilot it, and you sense that you get a better understanding of the ship, and basically you see that there are thrusters that he was overpowering, and there's an opening mechanism. There's opening mechanisms for each of the rooms you were in, and there's another opening mechanism for the main door of the ship. From within that memory that you have, you understand that when you open that main bay, you can also open the center crystal chamber. You get the feeling that those doors are really not meant to be opened except for loading and unloading, and so they're connected almost like a refueling station. If this makes sense, it means you are currently in the ocean, and if you were to open that door, it would flood the ship, but it would also open the center capsule. With that, I'm going to take it back to our friends in the capsule.
I'm going to take a whack at this thing again, because there's nothing else we can do.
I can fly
Alright.
you out.
You can't. You're weak.
I healed.
All right, try it.
I'm going to fly. I want to fly the general out. I'm at 9.
General, roll a fight check for me.
1.
General.
Lose
Plus
one,
2 makes it 3, but it's a natural 1.
lose 1 luck.
Oh no.
General, you are going to take 3 points of damage. And
Damn it, Rhea.
Rhea, you manage to pick up the general, and basically you toss him up into the vent, but the blast up against your wings and your right wing already being singed and damaged, you don't have the strength to pull yourselves both up. So you kind of, as you fall, you kick up and toss him up onto the ledge as you fall back down and take 2 points of damage.
That's exactly what I wanted.
And now your left wing is right over the center of the blast, and you see the feathers just flying up into the stream and disintegrating. And you hear the scream from this water fairy become more intense, but also become quieter. And it looks like the fairy is on the verge of giving out.
Hey, Rhea, you want to heal me before you do anything else?
I'm not close enough to you. I'm not in the vent with you. So I have to. So I'm gonna go ahead and I wanna free the fairy. I wanna take it home.
Don't. No.
What?
No, you don't.
Okay. Oh, okay. You're gonna keep chipping at it?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think the fairy's powering
for
the
it.
ship. So if you free the
Yeah,
fairy,
but
we might all
do
die.
I know that?
No,
Does
it's
Rhea
just a
know?
hunch I have that we might all die if you do this. That's all.
Okay. Go ahead and chip at
What
it.
am I rolling? I'm rolling for fight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 10.
You chip at it, and the crack gets deeper, and you start to see some of the light from within the ship bleed through a little more, and you get the feeling that you're almost through. Go ahead and also take 1 more point of damage.
Okay.
And I guess General Phoenix, you get 1 more turn before we go back to...
All right. I want to try crawling my way towards Tempest's location.
Do you even know where Tempest is?
I saw him when we were down in the...
He went... You did?
He
oh,
left?
yeah, you did. Okay, roll a... Well, give me a roll. Tell me what you're using.
Smart.
There is a straight shot out of here. Like, if you don't go back the way you came, if you go up north, you can just cross straight to that vent. So let's see if you figure that out.
Oh my god. 1.
General!
So here's what happens. In the control room, Dr. Frederica starts messing with the levers, trying to figure stuff out. And the blast of energy stops being so intense in one direction, but is now evenly spread out. You start crawling towards the room, right? And you make it halfway, but then when you get to that corridor, the ship leveling back out tosses you into the corner, and you bump your head. So you take a point of damage, lose a point of luck, and you are suddenly disoriented. So I'm going to give you...
Is it possible to have -1 luck?
Yes, it means that you have to roll with disadvantage until you reach 0. And I was going to give you bad luck on your next roll anyways, because you are now disoriented.
Jesus.
So I have -2, or do I stay at -1?
You have -1. You have -1.
Okay.
And that brings us back to Tempest. So you see Dr. Frederica level out some of the controls, and then she steps back, and she goes and she grabs a chair, and just sits in front of the crystal, and she looks dejected. What do you do?
I know how to use the console. Please tell me what to do. But judging by your demeanor, there is nothing we can do.
It's too late. The water fairy doesn't have enough power to take us back. It's perfectly calculated. We use their life force to navigate the ships. There is a water fairy in the crystal chamber, as I suspect your friends have found out, judging by the cracks. And it consumes 1 fairy
to make a round trip. What Marcillion has done is expended the ferries. He's blown some of the crystals. The ship is less the ship is less efficient, and the ferry's vitals are nearly gone. I don't see any way that we will make it out of this. So I'm just going to try and enjoy the beauty of what we've created here, if you don't mind.
If we free the ferry, would she, do you think,
She would suffocate without the water. We have her in a chamber that sustains her vitals, but out in the open, she would suffocate.
but she breathes in water?
Yes.
Okay, on the console command, I open the doors that were not meant to be opened to flood water into the water fairy's chamber.
It doesn't go into the water fairy's chamber, it just opens the door to the ship. So what it does is two things. It opens the door to the ship so people can leave, and then it opens the chamber, which you now realize is so that they could take out the dead fairy's body and hook up a new one. It's a pit stop. So the whole ship would flood with water.
Fair enough. Let's do it.
Okay. Give me a roll.
I don't think it matters, so 4. Yeah. Well, with smart, actually, it's a 12. No, it's a 10, sorry.
Okay. You're opening both doors. You're opening the ferry and the ship's door. Okay.
Yeah.
I will get back to that in a second. Rhea, you are inside the chamber.
Yeah,
What do you do?
can I heal the fairy?
You can certainly try.
It'll probably be my last action, but hey, I want to heal the fairy. 4.
This fairy is screeching and weakening, although the blast is somewhat less. Go ahead and make that fight roll for me as well.
Okay.
And you put your hands on the fairy's head, and you put your head to it. And you connect, that same connection that you felt with Job earlier. You feel that with this fairy, but the fairy seems to speak to you. And you can actually hear a voice in your head, and the fairy introduces themselves as Jamilio. And Jamilio is a prepubescent water fairy, and you have a moment that is similar to Tempest Locus's sort of flashes. And while you don't see things in full clarity because you don't understand these mysteries, you get that sense of loss again that you got with Job, and you feel that this creature has not known kindness in its life, and doesn't even necessarily know its place in the world. It barely even has awareness of itself as a being because of the way that it's been treated. But you heal it, and you feel this intense warmth, not like the usual warmth of healing, but a warmth of appreciation almost. And you feel, I do not know if Rhea believes in souls or anything of that like, but you feel a lightness in this creature's essence, as for the first time in its life, its very short life, it has shown kindness. General Phoenix, what do you want to do?
I'm going to sprint towards Tempest's location.
Okay. Give me a roll.
How does the negative work?
You roll twice and take the lower number.
7.
You run to Tempest's location, and this path is actually, you manage to find it. You're a little disoriented. You pop open the grate and you drop down, and you are faced with Tempest at the console, as at the very moment that he is pulling some sort of lever. You don't understand what is going on here, but You get the feeling something big is about to happen. And you've faced uncertainty before. You've been near death. And one of the things you've learned from the people that you've lost is the importance of not leaving things unsaid. And it feels like you might be at one of those moments now. You are in the ship with a prisoner that you've never met before. You've just nearly died trying to free some creature that you've never seen before. You're in the ocean, which is something that seemed impossible until a few hours ago. And you're overwhelmed. But you see the light from Rhea in the center chamber, and something feels right. It feels like after years of being tossed aside and alone and forgotten, it feels like you're in the fight again.
Tempest. It's been a while since I felt the rush of the battlefield. It's been a while since I've had people around to call brothers and friends. And well, I barely know you. Sort of just learned your name back in that vent there. And Rhea too. And I just want to say, if I die here, all of us die here, I just wanted to say thank you for being my friend. And then I want to walk up to Tempest, give him a hug.
Tempest.
I just have a look of confusion, and I'm slightly annoyed.
And with that embrace, Tempest flips the switch. And the main door to this obsidian vessel slides open as water with immense force rushes in. At that same time, the petals almost of this crystal dome begin to lift, but the rush of the water is so strong that the chip that General Phoenix managed to make actually bursts open before it even finishes fully opening. So the water rushes into that capsule. And Rhea, you are carried up through the vents as the water rises, and you eventually hit the roof there. You see the water fairy, this fire and this light extinguish, and it is able to slowly explore and manage to free itself from the cables. Inside the room, Tempest and General Phoenix, you see the water rush in. General, you see the capsule break open, and you have a little smile on your face because you knew, yeah, you know what? He was about to open it, but I did that. I broke that. And the water rushes the room, and you don't know what to do, but you're not sure it matters. Tempest, as the ship floods, the body of your brother rises up to meet you. And you see his face, and you see familiarity, and you feel loss and anger, but you also feel a resolution. And for the first time in your uncertain amount of years of living lives through other people and seeing the paths that they could have taken, you don't think that any other path could have been better. Because in a world of cruelty where you could have become like Dravik, you used your final moments to show kindness to a being with 3 strangers and set it on a different path. With that, the water fairy exits the capsule, and we zoom out as the ship continues to descend into the blackness of the sea. At the bottom of the sea, there are small colonies of fairies that hide in crevices, and while they are by no means saved, as the Alliance will continue to attempt to harvest them in ways to try and power their creations in this secret area that the world truly knows nothing of. You do not know how the war will turn out, but you have changed the life of this one creature. The end.